Good morning. Welcome to the No Way Jose podcast. This is the Morning Dump. I am your host, Jose Galison, and this is the kitty of the day, Violet. She's all preggers and stuff. She's got a month to go. Look how big that tummy is. She's probably brewing a big old batch. We look forward to seeing her kitties, and they'll probably make the rounds when that time comes. But if you guys like seeing my show, seeing the Morning Dump at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, that's the goal. We don't always make it. These holiday days have been throwing things a little bit off. Or if you just like seeing the kitty of the day, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. Because like I said, we don't always go at that time. That's the goal. Look forward to seeing you guys in the show.
Beautiful thing right now.
Rise and shine. It's a beautiful day. I am alright.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
This is the bridge to white lights.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
Crazy evil.
Good morning, everybody. We have a fun show for you guys today. Going a little bit earlier than normal, so my bad. It is what it is. I thought we were going to actually end up being later. I figured it was going to be quite a later show today, but I don't know, just made more sense to get it over with. I do have some shit to do. I got to go swap out the battery on my car, so I got to deal with that. So that'll be fun, but we have plenty to go through today. For those just joining this show, you haven't seen it before. We usually start the show out with what I call the icebreaker clips or stories. So we'll go through a few things, kind of in the gen pop, fun, funny type stuff. And then we'll completely whiplash it, take a 180, and we'll go over to the world of foreign policy, about a half hour, so not too long, a little more serious. I've already got you hooked in with the funny stuff. And then we'll get into the main topics, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are here for today. So, hey, I will timestamp this all at the end, though. So if you do want to bounce around or if you want to catch the replay or whatever, I know some of this stuff, I popped off a little bit online, so I know some people might be on for some stuff for certain topic today. The main topics for today with Epstein's naughty list, we'll be talking about all the different Epstein stuff, which has been complete and utter disrespect coming from on down. Then we have Darryl Cooper glows. So I come to you guys with a solemn heart and, just not happy about this, but I have to break some news. Darryl Cooper's glowing. Now, does that mean he is a thing? I don't know. But he glows bright as fuck right now, and I'll give you all the reasons for that. We'll also kind of cover, because this ties into the glowing, but we'll cover the degree to which Thiel is a bought and created creature by the Thiel faggot Frankenstein himself, and then we'll get into crazy Candace kayfabe and some of the weird influencer nonsensical drama going on right now, and have some fun with that. But we will intermittently pop in between segments and say hi to the chat. Like I said, I do timestamp this, so if you are listening back on the audio, we do save that towards the end, so you can, that way you don't have to hear me talking to, all the people in the chat. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into some icebreaker type stuff. Just also let you guys know, this is an info dump show. I always get people, oh, you're just regurgitating, you're just doing this. Like, I literally bookmark a bunch of shit on Twitter. I pull up stories I feel are relevant. We read articles. It's literally an info dump show. So if you say that, you're fucking retarded. But whatever. If you don't like that, you can check out one of my I usually put out 1 to 2 of those paywalled episodes a week on a specific topic, where I will interview a guest on something interesting. Every now and then I'll do solo episodes. I'm currently working on a script on my Bob Berdella Program to Kill episode, so that'll be fun whenever I get around to it. I've been pushing that off for months. But let's get into some of the gen pop, the fun funny, although these kind of tie into the topics of today pretty dang well. Here we go. We got, for starting off, we got caption this photo, which we talked about, so I think in the last episode, we showed some of the Bannon Epstein photos. Here's another one that came out that is just glorious. Here is, look at this sucker. This is literally, I know might not be able to tell as well with the glare, but I mean, I gotta say, the aura coming off this man, while he may be one of the most evilest men alive, he is basically a real life Bond villain, and I mean, he might still be alive still, we don't fucking know. But here's a photo of him on his desk. There's literally, here's our woke beyond a mutual to show his caption was nigga. But I gotta say that the drip, the aura to have the gall to have literally a framed photo of yourself doing like this on your desk, quite nuts. Obviously he's evil incarnate, but you gotta recognize drip and aura when you see it. And this guy has it. And we'll be going through a lot of pictures today, just so you guys know. Also, a little bit of warning for the audio, people who do like to listen back on audio, on the RSS feeds. It will be a lot of pictures today. But there'll be a lot of substance intermingled throughout, so sorry. Maybe you can pick up context just from the words, but you may be missing something if you aren't visually seeing it today. But just a little bit of warning. But yes, here's Jeffrey Epstein. He literally has a framed photo of himself on his desk facing towards, whoever's with him at his desk, which I just thought quite the absolute flex. Moving on to the next in the icebreaker type topics. Here is apparently Nicki Minaj spoke at what is this? Amfest or some shit. I don't even know what the stupid fest these con drifter dorks are doing, but this is what the talk of the town's been. Apparently got Nicki Minaj, because that's the path to that's conservatism, pals. So let's watch this.
As your special guest, there she is.
This one is for the boys in the polos, entrepreneurs again in the mogos. Think about with the crew, he gets so loud. But I think I like about when he's out loud. And I think I like about when the fitted cap on. You even gotta try to put the back on. You just gotta give me that look, when you give me that look, then the piggy's coming out. Excuse me, you're a hell of a guy. You know I really
You know what I just realized? Wasn't it like was it Nicki? Yeah, it was Nicki. Wow, what a weird coincidence. Obviously, I don't know, maybe this is obviously I'm not saying there's a pattern or this is like some big conspiracy, but it is funny now thinking in retrospect. It's like, oh yeah, Nicki Minaj was the one who I believe Candace was leaking all these texts of like him or her and Charlie going back and forth slaying different lyrics or whatever, and fucking Charlie being like slay queen slay. Just I don't know, a little bit telling, a little telling. I don't know. Maybe he just. I have my guilty pleasures. I am a girl dad. So I do have some. I don't like that Demon Pop Hunter or whatever the hell that stupid fucking movie came out. I'm not gonna lie, some of those songs are fire and they're pretty girly when they pop on Pandora and I'm driving down the road. But I bop to them, so I get it. But also I don't know. Whatever, it's funny. Here's Nicki Minaj. So this is what Charlie dreamed. Nicki Minaj at Deep USA. Thank God the Charlie dream is materializing before our very eyes. So yes, we have for the audio people, we had Erica Kirk and Nicki Minaj walking out onto the stage in Phoenix for their event, their TPUSA event with pyrotechnics and a Nicki Minaj song in the background, and their big booties swaying back and forth as they reach their chair. So. That's and you know what, you'd think that's bad enough, but it's not. Apparently they recreated the tent where Charlie Kirk was killed, so that way people could take photos, which, I mean, I guess I can kind of get what you're getting at, but what the fuck? Enjoy this little clip. Of course the audio went out, but doesn't matter. But whatever, I'll give you the audio. Not that it matters. I don't think it really matters too much. But give me a second. Let me bring it back up. StreamYard's all glitchy, and I don't have a producer. It's just me. This is just me doing a morning show. So enjoy this. Here we go. You get the technical difficulties and all. This is an info dump show. But yeah, let's start that over again. That way you guys get a better look at this. And I don't know, maybe she'll have something interesting to say.
And you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September, and people are taking selfies with it. You can see from behind me.
Yeah, weird. You think the Nicki Minaj was gay enough, but here we have is they literally have the tent, which I don't know how no one was like, really? That's what you're doing? Really? All right, let's move on over to foreign policy, but we'll pop into the chat and say our good mornings beforehand, and then we'll get into foreign policy. This coffee tastes like shit. All right, good morning, OG Matzo Balls. Says good morning, all. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Comet Mama. Good morning, Fat Cats. Shabbat Shalom. Fat Cats is home. It's Tuesday. It's not Shabbat quite yet. Save that for Friday, Fat Cats. Good morning, William Miller. Good morning, good morning. Says pick up the phone. Daddy's home, bitch. I think, what was that from? Oh, that was Erica dropping bars in one of her interviews. Yeah, many people pointed out that it was odd. She was dropping rhymes. Good morning, Doc Shelley, saying, is that Toad? Which one are you referring to? Toad? Oh, Steve Bannon. He does kind of look like if Toad was a Pokemon. Like, that's what he would evolve into next. It would be a Steve Bannon, for those who know Toad. Good morning, user Chadhead. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Tyler of the Libertarian Podcast Review. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, say what now? Good morning, Burning Beard. Good morning, good morning. Willie Miller says, I could totally see Kirk being gay. Me too, pal. Me too. Good morning. Oh, Comet Mama says, oh my God, I hear the K-pop songs in my sleep. And yeah, and they bop, don't they? Good morning, Alien Big Cat. Good morning, good morning. User says his sister lost a hairless cat to congestive heart failure. Didn't know that is a common thing. It's actually a really common thing. In cats in general, and especially any sort of bred cats. It's very common in Sphinx. We literally do yearly echocardiograms to check for it. So, yeah, you do what you can. Cool. Appreciate it. TJ Hawthorne with a repost. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, WC Cola says, I lost my hairless dog to CHF. It was awful. I don't know what CHF is. But I'm sorry that happened to you. Also, Twerking Point USA. Good morning, Retardo. Says, good morning, Jose, and the rest of my niggas. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Murder, Death, Kill. Good morning, Tucker Delay. Good morning, good morning. All right, let's get into some foreign policy. Starting off, we have Netanyahu's asking Trump to support another attack on Iran. This is a report we're hearing from behind the scenes. This is according to an NBC News report. It says a report said that Netanyahu will stress Israel's concern over Iran's production of ballistic missiles and will present Trump with options for the U.S. to join or assist Israel with an attack on Iran. Israeli officials are also warning that Iran is reconstituting its nuclear sites that were bombed by the U.S. during the war in June, but that was not their immediate concern. It says, according to a report from Israel Hayom, Israel officials are preparing an intelligence dossier on Iran to present to Trump. Netanyahu's office has said the meeting will take place at Mar-a-Lago on December 29th, though President Trump suggested last week that it wasn't finalized, saying, we haven't set it up formally, but he'd like to see me. Looking great, looking good. And just in time, we got Huckabee coming in to, serve the will of his master, saying Iran didn't get the full message last time around. He said on Monday that Iran didn't get the full message following the airstrikes that targeted Iranian nuclear facilities in June. This came as Israel was pushing for the U.S. to support another attack. Here's what he said. Here's his statement. It says, Iran, I don't know if they ever took Trump seriously, but until the night that the B-2 bombers went to Fordow. Huckabee said in an interview with Israel's Institute for National Security Studies, referring to one of the underground Iranian nuclear facilities bombed by the U.S., I hope they get the message, or got the message, but apparently they didn't get the full message because they appear to be trying to reconstitute and find a new way to dig the hole deeper, secure it more, Huckabee said, referring to reports they say that there's been activity at the bombed nuclear sites. So Huckabee made the comments when asked if the U.S. would support another attack on Iran if Israel determined further military action was necessary. Further statements from him says, it's hard for me to tell you what the U.S. would do because it's a policy decision that'll be made at the White House. All I can do is point to you what the president has said repeatedly, and he's consistently said Iran is never going to enrich uranium. So, I'd expect, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if we get some more Iran stuff here soon. Great stuff. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned in the previous article, Iran said that they will start their shit back up to get to where it was before because it's like basically a point of national security because it's the idea that you can't just let people bully you around like this. And to be fair, I totally get what they're coming from. But the gall of this country to say nary a word about any other country's shittiness. Meanwhile, Israel has killed over 400 Palestinians in Gaza since Trump backed ceasefire went into effect. You know, all the good that's done, us backing it. So 400 Palestinians so far. That's what the tally is at for post-ceasefire, whatever the fuck that is. You know, I guess we're just using words that don't even make sense anymore. And then we have another person, much like Huckabee, but someone who we usually laugh at, but unfortunately actually really does seem to have the ear of the president. That person is Senator Graham, Lindsey Graham, the fruity leprechaun of Congress, saying Trump should unleash Israel if Hamas does not disarm. So Lindsey Graham said Trump should give Netanyahu the green light to restart wars in Gaza and Lebanon if Hamas and Hezbollah do not disarm. While Tel Aviv has agreed to ceasefires with both groups, Israel has continued to attack and occupy southern Lebanon and the Strip. It's imperative that we come up with a plan quickly, put Hamas on a time clock, give them a period of time to achieve the goal of disarmament. And if you don't, I would encourage President Trump to unleash Israel to go finish off Hamas, as if that's what it would actually be. That would just be another boondoggle. Senator added, if Hezbollah refuses to give up their heavy weapons down the road, we should engage in military operations working with Lebanon, Israel, and the United States, where we fly with Israel to take Hezbollah out. So more warmongering from the warmonger himself, but doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of convincing that needs to be had with the current commander-in-chief. Currently over in Venezuela, he's still gloating that we're going to keep the seized Venezuelan oil and tankers. They actually got another couple ones recently. They seized 2 ships near Venezuela recently that we haven't covered yet on this morning's show. They tried to catch the third one, but I guess that one managed to get away. One of them wasn't actually under sanctions, like technically whatever the specific sanctions under the letter of the rules are. I mean, either way, though, regardless of whether they're under sanctions or not, that doesn't mean that the United States is allowed to literally steal the oil and the tankers themselves, the actual ships. So that's where we are, literally behaving as pirates on the high seas in the worst way possible, frankly. Moving on, we have Somalia. So as we're killing, supposed cartel, we're killing supposed ISIS over in Somalia. U.S. confirms it launched an airstrike during a battle in Somalia over a village captured by Al-Shabaab. So they confirmed that back on December 18th, they launched an airstrike on Al-Shabaab. So the airstrikes occurred in the vicinity of Nur Dugal, Somalia, approximately 215 kilometers northeast of Mogadishu. Somali media initially reported that Al-Shabaab took the village on December 18th after fierce fighting. There were unconfirmed reports of a U.S. airstrike. Al-Shabaab claimed that the group killed 11 government fighters, but the number hasn't been confirmed by the Somali government. The Somali Guardian reported that the loss of Nur Dugal, Nur Dugal, marked a strategic defeat for the U.S.-backed government since it cut off a supply line connecting Mogadishu and central Somalia, according to the Somali Guardian. According to Haran Online, the capture means that Al-Shabaab has taken control of most of Somalia's Middle Shabelle region. Al-Shabaab continues to make advances against the U.S.-backed government despite an unprecedented number of airstrikes in Somalia this year. The attack near Nurdugal marks at least the 117th U.S. airstrike in the country this year. So now they're up to 117. So great. So wonderful. We're up to 117. They're working on getting a high score. So we're up to 117 now. Now actually, never mind. There's another one I was going to follow up on, which is kind of was like a generic, like the strikes one, like the amount. There was 2 more, I guess. It's 119. So 119 now. Previous record was 63. So we're tracking the numbers. They have now gotten to where there's been more airstrikes in Somalia than were conducted in under all of the Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and George W. Bush administration. So that's where we're at. And he's also almost lapping himself, who had the previous record at 63. And they wonder why we have a Somali immigrant problem. It could be because we're bombing the ever-living fuck out of their country and literally aggravating the entire situation. So wonderful times. Let's go through the chat. I speed ran through that stuff. I'm too excited to get into the main topics. And there wasn't a ton of foreign policy. I know maybe things are cooling down for Christmas, but let's roll through the chat one more time before we get into Epstein's naughty list and look at some of these wild ass photos and some of the crazy gall of the elites and how they would dare do this to us. WC Cole is saying in real time, Netanyahu fella. Feel the ghost cast. Kat says good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Uncle Ted, saying Durka, 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 Muhammad Jihad. Okay, cool. I see you guys just chatting in the chats. All right, let's get into the main stuff. The main stuff of the day. I've kind of left you guys for a little while. We haven't talked about the Epstein stuff. I wasn't here yesterday. I know this is normally a daily show. I warned you guys the Christmas time, the holidays times are gonna be all weird and wonky, and they have been. But here I am now. I had to force. I almost didn't go do another show today. I have a bunch of other shit I got to do, but I was like, I cannot put off this stuff again. The content is building up, and if it builds up too much, it's going to get forgotten. And this is important stuff to go over. For example, apparently they dropped those Epstein files. Isn't that wonderful? Jokes on us. Approximately 90% were fully redacted. For example, here's one example. Here's masseuses completely blacked out. Wonderful. This is from Kalshi, which I don't like that much, but hear them every now and then they come in handy with some statistics, and 90% fully redacted. So that's what we're getting. But hey, whatever. Maybe it's just they're really trying to protect the victims. Here's Liam McCullum. It says showing the first document he opened. It says 20 of 23 pages were fully redacted, just like this, of the one file he opened, which of course they didn't even make it easy in any sort of way that would make sense for any techies to arrange this stuff. They make it pretty much about as difficult as it can be, from my understanding. Let's keep moving. What else we got? We got here's a little bit of an overview, just kind of what it looks like, with Cayuga's top gal saying it's all redacted. I thought it was a joke. Here's kind of this overview look at how you could see how redacted this shit is. Just utter insanity. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned explicitly. I guess maybe I shouldn't assume everyone's paying attention, but they dropped the Epstein files on Friday night before holiday, before a Christmas break, where which I think that might be their detriment. In years past, this might have been a smart move, but today you got people like me. You got the what's the fucking stupid term of the whatever. I was trying to think of a term. I completely blanked it, like a gumshoe report, whatever. Anyways, point being, you got lots of people like me that kind of dabble in both, and congrats, you gave us a bunch of time, and I don't have any corporate sponsors. There's nothing holding me back. There's no breaks I'm obligated to take due to whatever the fuck. No. I'm here. I mean, it just means I might have more time at home or whatever. Depending, for those who have jobs, a lot of people, this is the little hobby, podcasting or whatever, or they just like to be internet sleuths, and now they have time off from work, and now they get to look through all this stuff. So I think they actually might be fucking themselves over big time, but hey, don't tell them. It's kind of beautiful to see. Somewhat. I don't know. We'll see how the fallout of all of this. We'll see. I don't know if I should say it's good to see. I mean, it's kind of fun seeing all the people getting super noited out in real time, and kind of sort of almost getting to my level, and you're like, yeah, this is what I've been fucking telling you. Here's another one. This is a fully redacted 119-page grand jury document. So you can see this is them scrolling through it. This is a person scrolling through the whole thing. Just nothing but black. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yep, just black. Just 33 seconds of just scrolling, black. So I just lots of victims. You just say, hey, we can't let anybody know anything because we're worried about these victims. Well, are they? Here's someone saying you can literally tell the government did not give a crap about protecting victims or potential victims. Says I counted at least 6 times where they failed to redact faces of young girls, and in one case is a baby. And so here's pictures they found, and they kind of blocked them out. You can go look out on your own. I mean, somewhat take their word for it. I don't know. Maybe they're full of shit. Maybe there's a reason they didn't redact those. I don't know. I will warn people with this. I've seen so many dubious files come out right now. I mean, I don't know to what degree. It makes my schizo mind a bubble, because it's like, oh my God, this post-reality AI slop world. It's all paying off now. Because I've seen lots of fucking documents that you look into just a little bit and you realize, is this real? Is it not? And you're like, fuck. These are things that probably can be faked so easy. I mean, how hard is it to change a word here or there in a document? Don't fucking know. But it's a little bit sketchy. I've seen a few that made the rounds that I'm like, I don't know if this is legit. So, I mean, be careful. I would, this is, I guess, the point where it's good to have good sources, I guess. I don't know. I'd recommend trying to stay away from the slop vendors a little bit, because I've seen some of those slop vendors are churning out stuff that is legit bullshit. But and there's no need for bullshit here. This shit is so fucking dark. It's completely unnecessary. Apparently, they're also removing stuff, in real time. There have been people saying there were photos taken down from the DOJ's website. Here we go. Here's some photos. Photos of Donald Trump. I guess they were in a drawer, which I don't think there's really anything in here particularly you can make out that's really particularly damning. But I guess they still, after the fact, removed it. You can see some women. Some people said those are victims. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I mean, those women all look of age. Like, sure, maybe they could have been victims in the past, but I mean, nothing really too damning here other than showing that, like, he literally has, multiple prints of Trump photos and stuff in here. So, I guess, the implication, that kind of thing. But, weird they should have just left it. But yeah, let's hear what the establishment has to say for themselves. Here's Zero Edge saying the DOJ misses deadline for full Epstein files release. Will instead stagger to protect victims. By the way, I'm obviously not saying Zero Edge's establishment. I'm meaning this is going to kind of report on what their take of this is. So let's read through this a little bit real quick. It says the DOJ released 3 new folders of Epstein files on Saturday. It said folder number 5 mostly contains what appeared to be hard drives and media from both Epstein's lockup and the New York Metropolitan Correction Center and his property. They also appear to have deleted a file contained in the initial release that contains a picture of Donald Trump. So it says folder number 6 is mostly court filings related to Epstein and Maxwell's cases. Folder number 7 contains information from Epstein's 2007 prosecution. It says we will update this post if anything of import emerges. Also, since the DOJ placed everything in a PDF file that makes it difficult to navigate, you can browse the first tranche of Epstein files here. They show all this, yada, yada, yada. It says, what was 468? We happen to have it right here. Whose picture's in the drawer? So that's what we just talked about. Yada, yada, yada. It says, of note, 680 pages of yesterday's release were entirely redacted. Oh, and here's Epstein's estimated net worth as of June 30th, 2019. Shows right here, $559,120,000 That was as of June 2019. Let's be real, it's probably more than that, especially since he essentially owned all. He was de facto the owner of all of Les Wexner's shit. It says the long-awaited Epstein's were released a few hours ago. Obviously, this is on Friday. Is required by the Epstein Files Transparency Act. It's a solid collection of new pictures and files. Or at least if I could find where the fuck. We're going to go through all these pictures itself. So I want to see. They had totally the cop-out for so it says the DOJ will miss today's deadline, Friday's deadline, to release the full files to Congress. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Fuck. 1 second. I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. So instead, the Justice Department will release several 100,000 documents today. So that was on Friday. And then over the next couple weeks, I expect several 100,000 more, says Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. So this is what they're saying. They're staggering them. We're going to do several 100,000 at a time, but it looks like, they're just going to keep doing it like this, which, this doesn't really instill a whole lot of confidence off the jump, the way that this ones are. And for one, that's not what the fuck they were said that they were supposed to do. So, which we'll get into that too. It says, so today is the 30 days when I expect that we're going to release several 100,000 documents today. And those documents will come in all different forms, photographs, and other materials associated with all of the investigations into Mr. Epstein. What we're doing is we are looking at every single piece of paper that we are going to produce, making sure that every victim, their name, their identity, their story, to the extent it needs to be protected, is completely protected. And so I expect that we're going to release more documents over the next couple of weeks. So today, several 100,000, and over the next couple of weeks, I expect several 100,000 more. Keep in mind that word victim, and think about how ambiguous one could be with that word. Let's keep going. Okay, cool. We're going to get into some of the Massey stuff too here in a bit. So we'll get into that now, actually, instead of reading that through the article. Here's Thomas Massey saying the EFTA states, which is, I'm assuming, the bill or whatever, says B, prohibited grounds for withholding. 1, no record shall be withheld, delayed, or redacted on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity, including to any government official, public figure, or foreign dignitary. So that is, as you can see here, there's literally a redaction. saying, this is Luke Rudkowski saying, why is the government redacting politicians from the Epstein files? So this is somebody, I guess, I don't know the implication here. I guess this is some politician. I don't know exactly, but either way, there definitely have been examples of legit politicians being redacted. Many of them actually that I've seen floating about. You can go look into that on your own, and maybe we'll find some as we go through. But some of the people who are obviously likely the perpetrators are being redacted. And here's me saying, don't worry, guys, I bet we can still vote this away. And then, following up, here's Massey saying a future DOJ would convict the current AG and others because the Epstein Files Transparency Act is not like a congressional subpoena, which expires at the end of each Congress. So this is literally a law they put in place, which they've emphasized many times. So while, yes, they'll probably be able to skate through this entire administration and not get in the least bit of trouble, but especially with all this weaponization that Trump has had in the most silliest of fucking ways. Like, if you pay attention at all, anyone who's told you or clapped at all like a seal about any of the prosecutions of the Trump administration is frankly not fucking paying attention. And you should probably really reevaluate whether you, value their word in any way because, it's ridiculous. And, I don't even know. We've covered, I think, some of them. I've kind of strayed away from covering those on the show because they've all just been really fucking stupid. And when you dig into it a little bit, you're like, oh, none of these are serious. And those are all people that I would want to be in jail, but the way they go about it is in the most unserious and ridiculous of ways and begging for future political, retaliation, I guess you could say. And you're handing them a goddamn slam dunk. Like you're Scottie Pippen fucking under the hoop, fucking throwing it up as fucking Michael Jordan just charging down the fucking court, ready to fucking wham. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing for the left right now with this shit. Which fine, whatever. Fuck. I hope Trump gets put in prison. I hope the entire administration gets scrapped at this point. They're entirely fucking trash. I mean, I would be on the get rid of Trump, on the impeach Trump train. I mean, I kind of am to some extent. I do feel like that should be a consequence, but we have someone sitting in the wings that's debatably and, probably even worse. So, which we'll get into that in the second segment. But let's check in on Massey. He did a little talky talk. Let's see what he had to say on the news. And what he had to say in regards to all this. Give me a second. Of course, StreamYard glitched out. If I do more than a couple screen changes, it glitches out like a motherfucker. So here you go. Here's him on Face the Nation, kind of on the specific idea of kind of recompense and how the current elite or the current political elite are how this could affect them in the future. And obviously, there's a little bit of concern how this could kind of affect us all because we're going to have a left coming in with some frankly righteous fury, and they're kind of retards. So I don't trust their judgment. I think we might all get this smoke, but let's go ahead and watch this.
What are you going to do about it to force them to comply? I mean, can you do anything?
Oh, absolutely. Look, people have talked about, and by the way, Todd Blanche is the face of this, but it's really the Attorney General's office, Pam Bondi, who is responsible. And there are several ways to get at this. Some take longer, some are shorter. The quickest way, and I think most expeditious way to get justice for these victims is to bring inherent contempt against Pam Bondi. And that doesn't require going through the courts. And give her, and basically Ro Khanna and I are talking about and drafting that right now.
What are you going to do about it to force them to come?
Okay, so they're talking about doing some sort of inherent contempt charges, which I don't understand the ins and outs of that. I don't know what degree that'll do anything. But I mean, either way, even whether they do something now, they do something later. We're fucked. I mean, these are things we've been saying for a while. I've been screaming from the rooftops. This motherfucker is almost certainly a pedophile. Go check out that one Guardian piece from 2020. I don't know. Once you throw off that fucking red left to right fucking retard binary brain nonsense, and you're able to look past and realize they all fucking suck. I don't know. I don't think it's really too hard to see, but too many people were too I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Too entrenched, too biased, too. I don't know. This is the stuff when I was like, oh, this is stupid. All you people, you're jumping on the Trump train forever ago. I was like, oh, there's all these signs. Ta-da! But all right, let's. I'm not going to try to rub this in too much. Here's Adam Cochran. It says none of the permitted withholding terms allow for politically exposed people or government officials to be redacted in whole, or redacted, to be redacted in whole. What he's referring to here is the Justice Department says it applies the same redaction standards to politically exposed individuals and government officials as it did to victims. So that's why we're seeing the insane amount of redactions. It's because that, all right, let's keep it moving. Let's check in on Trump. What did Trump have to say about all this? Let me make sure the audio is still working. It is. Holy shit. That's almost like a record for StreamYard. All right, let's pop into this.
Were you surprised by the number of photos of Bill Clinton in the Epstein files? And can you commit to their full? What? And were you surprised by the number of photos of Bill Clinton in the Epstein files? And can you commit to their full release by the end of the year? Some of the victims were protesting that too many of them were redacted.
I know there are a lot of people that are angry about all of the pictures of other people, but I think it's terrible. Look, I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. So they're giving their photos of me too. Everybody was friendly with this guy, either friendly or not friendly. But he was around. He was all over Palm Beach, and the head of it was his best friend, Larry Summers, and Bill Clinton was a friend of his. But everybody was. I actually threw him out of Mar-a-Lago, and as a person that was in Mar-a-Lago, I threw him out. Mar-a-Lago, this is Mar-a-Lago. It's the hottest place I think it's the hottest place in the world, but it's the hottest place in Florida.
Can you imagine getting a plug-in in this fucking moment? All right.
And everybody would come here. He'd come here. We actually threw him out. But no, I don't like the pictures of Bill Clinton being shown. I don't like the pictures of other people being shown. I think it's a terrible thing. I think Bill Clinton's a big boy. He can handle it. But you probably have pictures being exposed of other people that innocently met Jeffrey Epstein years ago, many years ago, and they're highly respected bankers and lawyers and others, and they'll end up, because of guys like Massey, who's a real lowlife, whose polls are down to about 9%, by the way, in the great state of Kentucky. If you look at Kentucky, Kentucky is such a great place, but I don't know, they've got a couple of people in there that are very strange in terms of leadership, but Massey's a loser, and he likes it, and that he works with the Democrats. He's just being used by the Democrats, because what this whole thing is with Epstein is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party has. Like, for instance, today we're building the biggest ships in the world, most powerful ships in the world, and they're asking me questions about Jeffrey Epstein. I thought that was finished. I believe they gave over 100,000 pages of documents, and there is tremendous backlash. It's an interesting question, because a lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin a reputation of somebody. So a lot of people are very angry that this continues. A lot of Republicans are angry because of the fact that it's just used to deflect against a tremendous success.
Yeah, the tremendous success. Are you feeling it? The tremendous success. I will say gas prices are coming down, so that's cool. It's gotten quite low, but it does seem to be like there's like an inverse relationship between like the crazy shit the government's doing and then the price of gas. And then it's like you can immediately dispel that when you're like, oh, but what's groceries at? And you're like, oh, fuck. Okay. By the way, for those who aren't aware, they I don't know what they're doing. I haven't paid attention to they are opening reserves, but it's kind of like a known thing that like we do have these oil reserves in the States, and like they literally will, like, in times of political turmoil, when things are rough and we need a little poll numbers, just let those things open up a little bit more. Let's lower the gas prices a little bit, because basic supply demand. You increase supply, the prices come down. So it's just playing with numbers. These are reserves. They're pulling from the future. They're just making it so shit will be more expensive later, because it's all an artificial game, and they can't play that game as well with the groceries, so those are a little bit better. But retards will still get fooled by it. But I don't know. I will say with this one, I don't know. I did notice in the background, Rubio's like too far gone and is just a complete soulless, shell of a human being. But like Hegseth, just look at his face. It's just what a fucking pathetic little small man. You could just see it in his face, just like, oh fuck, because he likes to think he's the big action hero. He's the fucking cool guy, and here he is, literally as like the baddie and the most worst. Like not even like a cool baddie way, like and without not even with the aura. Like I kind of talked about with like Epstein, he's kind of got the aura, he's got the drip. Hegseth ain't got that. He's just fake. He's just a fucking tool. Like, it's a pathetic little faggot, a small man. It's just, I don't know. It's a sad thing to see somewhat, hey man, be careful to raise your boys to be good men, because otherwise they could turn out to be pathetic faggots like Pete Hegseth. All right, let's keep moving down the line. Look at some of these photos, some of the weird images that have come out as well, and some other stuff. Also, I guess another commentary from that is like, come on, let's be real. You guys have been hoodwinked to such a ridiculous degree. I don't know how anyone is buying this bullshit, that everything's so great, and that's why they want to focus on the Epstein files, and boo-hoo, oh no, the elites, oh, it might ruin their reputation. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't think anyone who any real person in the world fucking cares other than those people. So, like, I don't give a shit about them. Literally the wall, for all I give a fuck, and not the wall they like to kiss. So I know that's where I'm at. That's about the extent of my Fed posting for today. Oh shit, I accidentally exited out. Give me a second to bring back up. 1 second. Here we go. Here's a photo that was on the wall of Epstein's something or other. Oh yeah, above the toilet. Here's a photo of. You can see closer here, this is Epstein, and it was supposed to be Epstein, and kind of like a parody-looking thing. You're kind of looking all muscly, and then one of those weird, I don't know how to describe it. The parody, I guess, is the ones, the people on the side of the road, they'll draw you, and they'll make you big heads, and it's kind of weird and cartoonish, and sometimes you'll see them on, like, restaurant walls in certain places, like those sorts of ones. It's got Epstein in the foreground with Bill Clinton looking like he kind of has his arms in him, or he's leaning against the air stairs going up to an airplane, which I used to drive those back in the day sometimes. Those are fun. I mean, actually, it's not that fun, but it seems cool until you do it, and you're like, oh, this is really gay. And then you have in the background, you have Obama, and some of their sayings Peter Schiff, which kind of hard to tell, but it does kind of look like him. So I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that's kind of implying Obama and Schiff getting on the Lolita, perhaps, and Epstein Bill Clinton kind of being his buddy, but I don't know. Moving on, here's Mario Nofal. Epstein files. His FBI notes he demanded no dark girls and checked IDs to ensure victims were under 18. Never me, guys. I like them of age. I'm more of a MILF status, guys, and you guys know I like the dark ladies. If anything ever happens to my old lady, if she takes a tumble and I get the life insurance money, I'm gonna be on the prowl for some Nubian queens. All right, Candace, watch out. Once you're done with your fruitcake, I'm just kidding. I don't want to deal with her bullshit. But anyways, handwritten FBI interview notes released today expose the calculated nature of Epstein's predatory operation. It says on racial preferences. It says the notes document Epstein's rejecting victims based on race. It says J.E. didn't want a Spanish or dark girl. It says J.E. what doing? Why bringing me dark girl? Bringing young girl, yeah, but not dark. Told her he was just not into her. Told recruiter to keep looking for girls. On targeting minors. Okay, now this is obviously disturbing. It says at one point witnessed, redacted. So these are, once again, the redactions, which is another horrifying photo. These definitely look like teenagers. These do not look like adults to me. Now, to be fair, I know there's a lot of women in the itty bitty titty committee, so this could be a 30-year-old, these could be two 30-year-old women, but I'm telling you right now, that doesn't look like it. These are the notes that they're referring to that I'm reading to you, so it'll probably make more sense in a note fashion. But it says at one point, redacted, witnessed him asking for ID to girl wanted make sure under 18 because he wasn't believing them. Keep in mind, these like shorthand note stuff, so that's why it sounds retarded when I'm reading it. So he wasn't checking ID to void minors, he was checking to confirm they were. The notes describe a desperate time, running out girls, and details how recruiters were paid to procure victims. Another horrifying thing that's made the round. This is one that's this is one of the photos that's been released. It's been passed around. This is looks like someone wrote on with pen. I sure hope this isn't tattoo because that'd be insane. But there's no way this is tattoo. It's far too visible and in weird spaces. And doesn't look like tattooing to me. But yeah, let's read this together. This is a series of photos that are meant to be together, and I mean, as you guys see from the context as we read through this, as what's written on this woman, I don't think this is a woman. So like, this is nightmare fuel shit, which hopefully this will fuel your anger for the second part of the second segment of the show, main segment. But one second, let me while this. Here we go. It says Lolita, LO-LEE-TA, like almost like they're being cute with like Lolita Express, or but like kind of being like cute, like Lolita, like almost like they're saying it out like Faso. What's the stupid Sound of Music song? Do a dear, like, you know, the Fasolita, whatever the fuck this people singers say. It says the tip of the tongue taking a trip of 3 steps down the palate to tap at 3 on the teeth. I mean, that sounds really cryptic, but terrifyingly creepy, because talking about tip of tongue taking a trip, and this is written on a child, likely, I think. Then now here's by the way, I guess for the people, audio people, in the first photo, this is like, I guess just above the cleavage, what little there is on what looks like a fucking child. It's awful shit. And then here's one on the foot. It says she was low, plain low, in the morning, standing 4 feet 10 in one sock. Which referring to someone 4 feet 10. Like, I've met some short women, and some are that short, but let's be real. If we're running the numbers, that's gonna 99 times out of 100 probably going to be a child. And in the background on the bed, there is a copy of Lolita, which is the inspiration for the Lolita Express, which was Epstein referred to it as. So, and he was known to have an obsession with. So yeah, which funny enough, I think it was. Is it Staley? Is that the guy who ran Harvard or whatever, the dean, or I don't know what specific one? I think it was his wife. I mean, don't take that to the bank. I think it was his wife that supposedly is the one who recommended that. Anyways, so there's the one on the foot. Some more writing. Now we're looking at another one. This is like looks like kind of hip, you know, which, you know, kind of like laying on her side, kind of like, you know, that spot that like it is, I guess, kind of it feels creepy even saying this because it's a child, but like obviously like, well, this is the reasoning why you probably put it there. These are all evocative places, like the cleavage, like on a foot, I guess for people who are into feet shit. And then here's now like kind of on the hip, that like that kind of that hip, and it's like on that hip where it kind of like flows into like the pubic area, kind of, if that makes sense. So this is like right probably at her pant line too, like so on her side. But it says she was Lola in slacks, which Lola is the female character in that book who is a child. And then it says on her neck, she was Dolly at school. So, fucking awful. As if it doesn't get worse. Yeah, here's more. Here's Shadows of Ezra, which, to be fair, this is probably one of the more slot vendory ones. So, but this one's, I've seen this elsewhere too, so not just them. It says new Epstein files include manuals described as baby massage training instructions. It says Jeffrey Epstein was known to own a massive ranch where young girls were allegedly flown in. That's the Zorro Ranch. The ranch was a baby factory with which was used to breed children for exploitation, including sex trafficking, organ harvesting, and satanic rituals. I think that's probably the case, but that is taking great liberties. I don't know if the stuff we know really bears that all out, but to be fair, yeah, probably. If I had to guess, if I had to speculate, but it is a little bit wild thing to say just matter-of-factly, but whatever. Here is a photo of one of these manuals that were released with all this, kind of showing, which I guess should be good, innocent, like whatever, I guess it does make sense, to rub the muscles of your infant or whatever, but given that this was in Epstein's possession, a little bit darker, the implication, because of the implication. Here's a photo to kind of associate to go along with this, which people have shared about, and this is also going to tie into the second segment. This is kind of what kicked it all off, and you'll see what I mean here a little bit. Here's Epstein on a couch, kind of, let's be real. I mean, he looks post-coital. That's 100%. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it. I do want to mention, this is the first time I noticed he has like a barbed wire tribal tat, the barbed wire tribal band tat, one of those ones that go around. I can't talk shit. This is actually a cover-up of a tribal tattoo because I was an idiot back in the day. But anyways, that is, peak 90s. It is, something's funny about the fact that he probably went to some shitty tattoo shop. It was just like, yo, fam, fuck me up, give me that. Whatever. Side point, I guess a little bit distraction from the obvious credible evil we're witnessing here. I guess I'll describe this a little bit for you guys and perhaps the audio audience. Here's him looking post-coital, I believe, with it looks like a towel wrapped around him, and then like a shirt or something, on his lap, almost as if it he's getting ready to put it back on or something along the lines, or maybe just took it off. Although he totally looks post-coital to me. I don't know. Maybe this is pre. And then peeking out in the very bottom left of this picture is a small little leg with a little itty bitty crock coming out of it. Yeah. And that's not the only photos we're going to probably see today of him with kids. And there's plenty more that you guys can probably find on your own. I just kind of got a sampling of some of these things, but I think you'll get why, especially as I lay these things out, why I may have gone so fucking hard in this next segment. But moving on. Here's another photo. These are, I guess, look like senior photos. So yeah, here's these legit look like the exact generic, the senior photo, the most like what you think of when you go get glamour shots done for your senior photos. Here's a couple of them with redacted face. So these are obviously victims. And associate here with it, here's the backs of them, redacted, 2005. This says, "You will always be beautiful, and life is worth living for. Love yourself." Now, I don't know if that's from to Jeffrey or from Jeffrey, but it was in his possession, along with a photo of someone, which redacted face, redacted emblem on the front of the shirt with what is unmistakably a cheerleader's outfit, and once again, another member of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, which would very heavily make me believe this is not an adult, especially in combination with the cheerleader's outfit, which I guess, to be fair, that could be some weird kink some adult woman could be into, but hell, even just looking at the muscling, like the arms, it just looks like a child. It just unmistakably a child. This shit, I knew there was dark shit here, but just the way that we're just getting slapped across the face with the fucking state's dick here, just like not really releasing anything, but yet releasing enough to where you're like, oh my fucking God. So like they're basically kind of winking, but being like, whoa, the victims. Here's another, never mind. This is another one just saying that they use the same redaction standard for victims. I didn't realize I actually accidentally doubled that up in here. I do think it's funny they did pick a pretty perfect photo of that, of Epstein to kind of, if you were, like literally perfect photo to pick for, they decided to apply the same redaction standard on victims as they did on what are obviously the perpetrators. So great. Also, some new high-res photos came out of Epstein's temple, which I don't know, a little weird. I think that may have came out that we covered a couple days ago, but I don't know. Here's a couple closer photos. I think we saw some video. Here's one from inside. A lot of people are making a bunch of to-do about the pillars here, which I don't know, maybe, because I guess in the Ark of the Covenant or the temple or some shit, I think there's I forget the name of them, but there's like these two pillars, and one's like not really a spiral, but it's almost like maybe ribbed. I don't really know how to say, like almost like I don't know, like sort of like a spiral, but not really. It's like it's even along the way, so it's almost like little circles, but then with like little bands. I don't really know how to explain it, but that's the one in the temple. The one here is like a spiral design, so it's not even necessarily a 1-for-1. But a lot of people are, and then there's a pillar next to it that's straight. It is weird. I know, at least for me, my taste, aesthetics, it's weird because it's like not. What's it when it's the same thing on both sides? Whatever. It doesn't look like nice to me, but so maybe there's some sort of symbolic thing being implied here by this bookcase. That felt like a stretch to me, but now this, okay, maybe there could be definitely some fucking symbolism in here, and I've seen a lot of people skizzo out on it. On the roof of the temple here is, I don't know, it looks like some sort of Greek painting of some sort. So here you see like kind of constellations. Almost looks like a star map, but with the like literally the representations as different Greek figures like the centaur and, all the different ones. You guys know, for those who get really, I've never really got really big into star stuff, but you know what I mean? Like the Orion is like Orion from Greek mythology. And so I'm assuming if we look deep in here, there's probably a guy with a bow or something. So it looks like a star map on the ceiling, which let's be real. People can skizz out for days on that one. Here's more, getting into more. Here's Woke Beyond again saying, Michael Tracy told me this chick was 17 years and 364 days old. Here's another horrifying photo to behold. Free Epstein, which, to be fair, I mean, who knows? Maybe he's got a nephew or a niece or something, but given the implications... dark. Here is a child, what is obviously a child, on Epstein's lap. I mean, once you guys go check this out on your own. I mean, once again, if you're an audio listener, you're missing out a little bit here because, I mean, you do kind of need to see. I mean, I can explain to you what they look like, but these do not look like women. This is a child eating fruit on Jeffrey Epstein's lap as he's kind of creepily leaning back. So just absolute nightmare fuel. Some Bill Gates stuff came out too. Here's a photo with a redacted woman, which I think there's actually somehow there's an actual unredacted one out there. So some of these too, like they're going and doing these redactions, and some of these photos have already existed elsewhere. So it's a whole, to some degree, it's just a production that they're putting on. But it seems like they want you to know. So here's Bill Gates with a woman next to him, a younger looking woman, which I know she looks of age. She looks like she could be of age. To be fair. And now then it says, now here's the back and forth. It says, I don't know, try to send someone else. I have a friend, Scout, she sent me some girls today, but she asked 1,000 per girl. Will you send girls now? Maybe someone will be good for Jay. Name redacted, 18-year-old redacted, so it's an 18-year-old. Height redacted, measurements redacted, weight redacted, kilograms, Schengen, I don't know what that is. Departure city redacted, Russia. Now, to be fair, that one does say 18-year-old, but it does show that these guys are at least engaging in like overt prostitution, which is still really gross considering, slinging around an 18-year-old across state. I mean, that's basically a child. So this is, at the very, very, very least, incredibly unethical. And then here's more nightmare fuel. Here is a photo of Epstein, with some women who look like they could actually be women, to be fair. But the interesting thing here, but they're all younger looking women, which is creepy, and they're all like weirdly tending to this old man. Odd. But here's the real kicker. Some of his art. And then also notice that is sound foam, I believe, if I recall correctly. So this is a room with sound foam, seemingly insulated with the sound foam, which who knows, maybe he was a podcaster, or maybe he liked to do video calls, and he just wanted to really make sure he had a nice, airtight, sealed room. But given the dentist chair we've seen with the masks on the wall and other stuff, I'm going to go, I don't know, maybe it's a lot more sinister. And then you add to it this image right here, which is a terrifying, creepy smile. Wasn't that horror movie Smile? Literally, it's that basically. It's the old timey cartoony version kind of looking thing. I really don't explain it. Like I've seen it before. There's people who have have pointed out. It's just a smiling man face kind of deal. I'm trying to think. It's like old timey carnivals, especially like a creepy one. You would see like the face, which there's a weird rabbit hole people have gone down already with this I didn't mean to click out of that, but whatever. There's a weird rabbit hole that I guess apparently Donald Trump's dad had a theme park at one point or something like that, and it had basically exactly that creepy face on the front of it. All right, now we're going to get into the drip, the aura. It's unreal. I do think there almost feels like to some degree this is just them flexing on us, because they're just showing like just fun stuff, them looking cool too, which I don't know. I guess there is also some component of like a lot of people be like, oh my God, it's in the Epstein files. Whoa! Like, I mean, I guess this does like, obviously, here's a photo of Bill Clinton and Epstein together and whether he's called dashikis or whatever the fuck they're called, which obviously cements their relationship a little bit, makes it a little bit more clear. But there's also a lot of stuff that's like, oh, there's just photos. Like, for example, there's like a Michael Jackson one that like I didn't even include because Internet Sleuths figured out like really quickly that like the redacted photos in it were his literal children, and like I think he'd been visiting, or for some reason it Like, there really was already like some sort of, research or people knew about like the details of that. And it seemed to be almost like a red herring. And so some of these things may not be exactly what you think they are. So keep that in mind. And now this one, let's be real, them and some dashikis, like they're chilling, they're being boys. I don't really know how you can avoid that. So, but this is kind of, we already knew this, and there's some of this just seems like all of them stunting on us. Look at our cool ass photos. It doesn't necessarily prove anything. It just shows a relationship. So as if anyone was like really debating that. But here's another one. Here's exactly to my point of here's just them looking fucking cool. Like, what is there even dark here? There's nothing. So here's another one that came out. It's just Hillary Clinton looking fly as fuck. Tell me that she doesn't look cool as shit here. Here in this like gold dress or whatever. I'm assuming this is probably in some sort of Epstein, estate or something. But this is just more of just here they go. They're looking cool. Whatever. This one's a little bit more evocative, but even then, I don't know. This could be just a complete red herring and looks worse than it is. Here's a photo of Bill Clinton in a pool with clearly what's Ghislaine Maxwell and someone else who's redacted. Now, obviously, I have no idea who that is that's redacted, but like I don't know. I mean, there's nothing there that like really. This could be a totally of age woman. I don't know what the circumstances are here. This shows they hung out once again, cementing the relationship, but that's not really anything new. I mean, whatever. Here's another photo. It looks a little bit. Kind of looks like Bill's gonna blow away under the water, although he's obviously not. You can see there's probably nobody under there. He's just kind of leaning back, comfortable in the hot tub with a redacted face behind him. So a lot of these do seem like they're almost like implying stuff when we don't really know. Here's another one. They didn't redact the guy, so I'd be interested if they ever find this dude. They probably, whoever is out there really just did not give a fuck about this guy. Here is some dude, some big, he looks legit like a smaller fat bastard. Like he's weird boobs. Look at this guy. Those aren't even like, that's not normal for a fat guy tits. Those are weird. Like, does he have like gigantic pecs or something? And then he almost looks like he has titty implants. It's weird. But anyways, some fat guy in like high waisted shorts, just chilling out there with Jeffrey Epstein kind of hanging out back there, with some chick, which this is one that's kind of dubiously aged. We don't know. That could totally be 18, 19, 20, could also be 15, 16, 17. It's really hard to tell. But here's what clearly looks like Epstein handing off a woman to, somebody. So many such cases, I'm sure. Here is another one, which, kind of maybe they're playing games with these redactions. But here is Les Wexner, the person that Epstein had complete power of attorney over, basically owned all his shit, and it was de facto Wexner, basically was Epstein. Here is a photo that half of it is redacted out, and it kind of looks like perhaps he's holding something. Kind of reminds me almost of that like one creepy photo that people share sometimes, that one creepy old guy holding this young kid that looks terrified. That's kind of what this looks like. It looks like he might be holding a young child or something, but you literally cannot make out half the photo at all. So this actually could also be another instance of like, who knows? Maybe there's going to be some sort of rug pull later, and then you guys want the redactions, and then they'll just pull the ones that they knew were the red herrings, leave some of the other ones or whatever, and then they'll be like, oh, look how stupid you guys are. This wasn't what you thought it was, and this was now this is this, and look how stupid you are. So don't get too over your skis, but this once again, this feels like they're implying the implication here is a little bit dark. And let's be real. Who the fuck gives over their, many, hundreds or tens of millions of dollars, essentially, over to another man? Essentially their entire life, everything, their name, their reputation, their literal everything over to a person. I mean, I know usually military members, when they deploy for 4 months to their wife, or 6 or 8 or 12 or however long you go. But, billionaires, odd. Or millionaires. I'm not sure if he was a billionaire or a millionaire. I think he was a billionaire. I'm not entirely sure. Moving on. This one's funny. Here's David Brooks. Says nothing to see here, folks. So he wrote an op-ed a few weeks ago saying the Epstein story, count me out. And he's a New York Times columnist, which, I don't know, not to connect dots that don't need to be connected, but it is at the very least ironic that this guy right here, David Brooks, is a New York Times columnist, and just recently the New York Times put out that, like, nothing to see here one. Oh, well, he was just a good old con artist. Meanwhile, like, accidentally, like, exposing a fuckload of like Iran-Contra like ties. They're like, oh yeah, you literally created more questions and made this glow even brighter while you're trying to like muffle the glow. Well, good job with that. Well, this David Brooks guy who works over at New York Times, he wrote an op-ed a few weeks ago, the Epstein story, count me out. It says today he appeared in 4 photos for the Epstein dump. So now this guy says they don't show him doing anything weird or wrong. He was just hanging out with rich, famous, powerful men. One of them happened to be a registered sex offender, pled guilty 3 years earlier to charges for procurement of minors for prostitution. So it is just funny, you know, just noticing some patterns here. Just noticing some patterns. At the very least, it is ironic. And let's be real. Physiognomy check. Come on. Are we surprised? I'm not. All right, guys, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into the shit in the next segment. Let's pop in the chat, checking on you guys. And see what you guys got to say, see what your thoughts are, and then we'll get into what I'm sure a lot of you guys are here for, the glow of Darryl Cooper. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Am I over my skis here? Now, to be clear, with a glow, that does not mean someone is literally a Fed. It just means they are putting off Fed vibes. They have all the Fed indicators or whatever. You were like, yo, dude, I can't look you directly in the eye because the glow is blinding. It's just saying. I mean, maybe there's alternative explanations, but we'll get into all that. Let's check in the chat. See who all's in there. Uncle Ted says, do you think Trump is protecting Melania? No, I think if anything, it's more likely he's basically, you know, I don't know. When you look at some Epstein stuff, it almost looks like it's like a buy a bitch type program sometimes. So I think she's basically like a, you know, I guess a whore, but like in a wife sense, like buy that lady. Oh, she'll be perfect for my political. Oh, that'd be great for kids, and she'll like be good on my arm. I mean, I don't think that's a real relationship. So I think it's something along the lines of arranged, especially when you get into the weeds of the Epstein stuff. So I doubt that he's protecting him. I think it's more he's protecting himself. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning. Aggressively agreeing, good morning, saying they decided to redact everything instead of fabricate evidence after they saw Cash App's attempt at creating a convo between Robinson and his gay furry. Good morning, Clockwise. Good morning. Good morning, Chuck Bam. Good morning. Good morning, Real John Doe. Good morning, Michael Phillip. Good morning, Professor Parsi. Missed the notification. Did you hit that bell? You got to hit that bell, buddy. But good morning to you. Good morning. Who else we got here? Burning Beard says whole thing's a big friggin' soap opera. Sure is. Shabbat Shalom, Michael Phillip. Shabbat Shalom. Let me see. Pam Bondi, the Scientologist. Yep. Go check out my episode with Dana Duda. Big facts. It sure looks that way. Who else we got in here? Let's check through. Let me see. Oh, you guys are chit-chatting. Caricature. See, someone got the word I was looking for. Caricature. Caricature was the word I was looking for earlier. Caricature. Thank you, comment mama. Thank you. Chimping ain't easy, says Uncle Ted. It sure it ain't, but I'm here to do it. I'm going to chimp out, baby, especially in this next segment. Good morning, Shadows in the Cornfield. Good morning. Oh, shit. PJR, I guess, is saying these are lines taken straight from the book. Or are you saying it's straight from the book Nabokov? I don't know if maybe Nabokov is something in the chat I missed. Or are you saying that these are lines from the Lolita book that he's writing on there? That makes sense. So, good morning, Six Art. Good morning. Someone's being very childish about me saying coital. Good morning, Gautis. Good morning. Here's Shadow saying they protect this dude Epstein on high for decades, knowing all this shit was going on. For real. We got I'm literally shaking. Yeah. This is awful shit. I'm trying to be my normal jovial self, but it is hard not to go. So yeah, fucked up. Yeah, see, Gautis, that's definitely not an adult cheerleader. Yeah, for sure. Good morning, Robin. Good morning. Good morning, Bug Fights. Good morning. Robin wants Kiwi and Eeyore. Eeyore went to a new home. That litter is gone. That litter's all gone, Robin. They found homes. So that litter is all gone. I showed you Violet, who's going to have a litter soon in about a month. Let me see. Symmetrical. Man, I'm struggling with words today. Thank you, Shadows. Unsymmetrical. When things are same on both sides. Symmetry. That's what's throwing me off. So, yep. Let me see. Here you go. Shadows, as much as this was just elites wallowing in the reality that they could get away with anything. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Some of the drip, some of the... It's like, I don't know. They knew they were getting pictures taken. They probably knew why, too. They just didn't give a shit. Rise to Liberty says, these man tits are the results of lying about hurting children. Instead of his nose growing, his gynecomastia got worse. Yeah, could have, for sure. Good morning, John Black. Good morning, good morning. Let me see. Here we go. PGR says Nabokov is the author. Okay, cool. I couldn't remember who the Lolita author is. So that's the author of Lolita. It says, yes, straight from the book. And this isn't his first novel that went into men preying on underage women. Laughter in the Dark is another pedo book he wrote. That's interesting, especially because people always, when they talk about it, they're like, oh, yeah, I had to read it in college or whatever. And they go, oh, yeah, and he was like totally the villain of the book, even though it's told from his perspective. And you're like, I always thought it was a little bit weird. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess that could be maybe I don't know. I mean, obviously, I have no desire to read it, but like, I guess narratively, I can kind of understand that. But odd. I was always thought, like, what an odd choice. I mean, how do you even? I don't envy the goal of an author to make someone the villain and then tell it from his something doing so heinous and telling it from his perspective. Because like, you can do bad guy movies where like, oh. And I guess even not making them sympathetic, but they do like maybe cool stuff where you're like, oh, they're just murdering people, which is obviously bad. But like, I don't know, people can get on with like just slashers or whatever a little bit better. So, yikes. You know, him having two of those books, I feel like kind of takes a little bit of wind out of the whole, oh, yeah, that was totally, the moral of the story is it was bad. And you're like, man, what? I don't know. I never read it. Maybe it was. Maybe he wrote two books on it because he's really, really felt that strong about it. Professor Parsi said, who was the cat of the day? It was Violet, my pregnant little lady. She's going to have some pretty kitties here soon. All right, guys. Well, let's start this off with a little bit of a bop. And I think this will probably be my outro, too, because I'm just vibing on this right now. This is the energy I'm on. I'm going max on it, like a fucking idiot. But you guys will see. This will be the introduction for this today's bit. So, yeah. And I'll explain it all to you in a little bit. But just to set the stage. I think you'll like this.
Thiel co-founded PayPal back in 1998. The team around him went on to create groundbreaking startups. You've heard of them all, like YouTube, Yelp, Kiva, LinkedIn, and Tesla.
Back home smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles. Foreign shit running on diesel, dog. Playing with my name, that shit is lethal, dog. Who you see? What? Don Corleone. Trust me, at the top it isn't lonely. Everybody acting like they know me, dog. Don't just say it down, you gotta show me what you gotta do. Bring the clip back empty. You asked to see the ball, so they sent me, dog. I just broke her off with a 10-piece, dog. There ain't nothing, I'm just being friendly, dog. It's just a little 10-piece for it, just to blow it in the mall. Doesn't mean that we involved. I just put a Richard on the card. I
believe you can be both a libertarian and work with the government, or even work for the government, or work in the government.
Niggas need you to go away. Still going bad on them anyway. Saw you last night, but did it all day. Yeah, a lot of murk coming in a hard way. Got a sticky and I keep it at my dog's place. Girl, I left you loving magic, not all shade. Still going bad on you anyway. Whoa. I can feel like 80 rats in my Marys. Me and Drizzy back to back is getting scary. If you fucking with my eyes, just don't come near me. Put some bins all on your head like Justin Terry. Whoa. Richard Millie cuss a Lambo. Known to keep the better bitches on commando. Every time I'm in my trap, I move like Rambo. Ain't a neighborhood in Philly that I can't go. For real.
All right, now for the audio people, I'll start the timestamp for this segment after that, because I know that's like nothing for you. You just guys got a cool song. You're like, what the fuck? What is going on here? For the visual people, you got a cool little edit going into some Thiel stuff, but we'll break that down a little bit more intellectually than just a visual thing in your face showing you pictures that I'm sure none of you guys read in that shit anyways. But we're gonna go through numerous things that back up my contention here that it looks like Darryl might glow. But let's go through this. See if I could actually get a find. By the way, I got blocked by got blocked by Martyr Maid, aka Darryl Cooper, the primo historian, according to Tucker Carlson. Speaking of Glow. So he blocked me, so it does make it a little bit hard to kind of go through all this stuff properly. Because when you get blocked, it like fucks up. Like you can't just like perfectly go back through and look through it all. So I have to like annoyingly it also deboosts my shit. So when you get blocked. But anyways, here's just what started it off. We'll just start what started it off. I know this is a little bit of influencer gay drama, but I'm gonna transition this into substantive, back amp a point. And this is stuff we've talked about on this show. If you've watched this show, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I knew all this stuff. Daryl's a fucking idiot or a fed, one of the two. Like, you guys know this shit. This is like 101 parapolitical stuff. But here's Martyr Maid, Darryl going, all I've got is fed posts. How ironic. And here is the photo I told you about earlier with Jeffrey Epstein with a little toddler foot there, which I feel the same way. And I told him, kind of like, oh shit, because once again, you guys know what I'm stepping in. You guys know entirely what I'm stepping in. And you know what? I don't believe that Darryl doesn't know what I'm stepping in either. And so you're still feeling bullish about JD, the Thiel creation? And then he goes, what does that have to do with anything? And I go, damn near everything. If that's a genuine question, that's a genuine problem. You either should know better or do know better, especially now of all moments. And he goes, if it's so obvious, why can't you just answer the question? What does the DOJ's handling of a certain case have to do with the vice president? I said, because I literally have better shit to do than to hold your hand through this. Thiel is literally a transhumanist faggot rife with rumors of weird sex parties, dead ex at a Nixium party, weird, masquerading as a Catholic, conflating it with his weird new age techno bullshit to retards, and has gotten his creepy tendrils elbow deep in the U.S. government. But go off, I guess. I go, I guess JD, who was a nobody till Thiel swooped in, is just a good old country boy who wants what's best for us good old hard-working folks. I do want to let it be known, I ratioed his ass with this before Twitter came in and boosted me. And he blocked me and when I did this, and I then, shortly after got, what am I trying to say? I got I got the hateful conduct or whatever, because I said faggot and retard, because we're such free speech, much stunning, many brave or whatever. All the fucking big influencers are like, oh, fucking free speech. Like, okay, pal, try having any account under 20K and saying anything no whatsoever. But anyways, even still, despite essentially doing rhetorical battle with someone who has, I don't know, what does he have? He has, let's look, 362,000 followers to my 11,000. I still fucking ratioed him by an over 2x ratio for those who are, pay attention. Obviously, that doesn't mean I'm right, but I'm just saying, the will of the people, all that, where they're at, people weren't feeling it. Now, I will say, if you are someone, whatever, it was buried in the replies, so it was his large following kind of didn't really get to help him as much here. But if anything, that's all the more all right, this is pretty accurate, I think. So yeah, he blocked me after that and kind of was like, oh, well, thanks for making that easy. He put in there too. So now I do want to show you something really interesting real quick. I totally forgot. I meant to mention this off the jump, but let's do this. I want to show you something real quick. I go to view post engagements, go to likes. Let me see. Let's see if you guys see something here. What do you guys see? You guys see that? I mean, I'm not trying to be some weird clout-chasing faggot here or anything. I'm not being anything like that. But I'm just saying, this is something. I'm just saying. That's Nick Fuentes right here. I mean, I don't know what I guess I got to back up. I debated even posting this or even mentioning on the show, because likes are now private. They changed that on Twitter. It used to be everyone could see your likes, So I feel like I don't know what the proper decorum is on sharing that. I did it on Twitter because I just felt gay and clout chasey. But I do think there is some substantive point to be had here. That Nick liked that one tweet and the tweet I showed you. He liked two of my tweets, actually. He liked this tweet that I just showed you. This is he liked... did I click on the right one or not? Whatever. He liked this one too. There's the video that I played, the jump. There's Darryl Cooper really is fucking stupid, saying it doesn't take a top tier researcher to see the many parallels and connections between Thiel and Epstein, and you only need a room temp IQ to know Thiel owns JD's ass. So I thought that's interesting. I don't know if I'm if I did a wrong there, if say Fuentes, if you see that, not that I really feel like I owe anything to you. We're not buddies. I don't really know you, but I don't know. Is this breaking some sort of like social, unsaid decorum now that they're private? I don't know. If so, I'm sorry. I don't feel like I gave up too much information. I kept it to my little audience just on my morning show. It's not usually a giant audience on this morning show, so I don't know. I just felt like it was worthwhile mentioning. There's something interesting about Fuentes, that he's this is where his head's at. That he's he knows what I'm getting at, and he liked that one, and then he also liked the one where I said if that's a genuine question, that's a genuine problem. You either should know better or do know better. So I don't know. I don't know. Make of that what you will. I just thought it was interesting. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to be in a show where he's coming to mine or anything like that anytime soon. I highly, highly doubt it. Just like, whoa, that was weird. And if you're paying attention to the political reality on the ground, I think that's, I gave you guys a little bit of an interesting little tidbit there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. All right, let's go back to here. And so then, he blocked me. He blocked me whenever I told him that Thiel was a faggot, which he is. And to be fair, I don't actually have an issue with gay people. It's really not. It's literally, I know it sounds silly, like there's gay people and there's faggots. I'm sorry, Thiel's a faggot. He's a fucking faggot. It's literally just I guess I don't have a substantive difference between the two, but it's I guess it's really just a gay I don't like. Which, but whatever. That's fine by me. We're grown-ups here. Who fucking cares? And he fucking sucks. So fuck him. But anyways, let's see. Oh, I did want to let you guys know. I guess this is a weird place to stick it in, or slide this one in. But it's funny. I said I had better shit to do, and then he blocked me. And then I said, Ralph, if you're out there, here you go. What a weird way for you finally get your air dryer beef jerky recipe you've been asking for from me, but here you go. Literally what I was arguing with Bartermaid. I mean, this is just a new me these days. I'm not really trying to, I might do something like this where I catch you, I might ask you a question, but I'm not doing a long-winded back and forth on Twitter. I'm just not really. And if I do, it's because I'm coming, if I'm dropping a fucking scroll a page, it's because I already got you dead to rights. And I'm just kind of putting the death nail in. I'm not doing this well, Darryl Cooper, let me explain to you all the CIA connections and the Epstein connections. No, I'm not a fucking child. Darryl's supposedly the Epstein guy. I mean, not the Epstein guy. He'll intentionally be I'm not the Epstein guy. There's other people better than me, which fair enough. But you're the parapolitical researcher guy, and then you expect me to fucking believe you don't know what I'm getting at right here. You're gonna play fucking stupid with me and the fucking on this weekend of all fucking weekends on the Epstein weekend. Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna play fucking stupid about this? You either are stupid or you're playing stupid. And either way, I don't know. The friend-enemy distinction couldn't be any fucking clearer to me, but whatever. But anyways, here's the better shit I was doing. I was literally working on my air fryer beef jerky. I was working a little bit on that Bob Berdella script. I was doing other stuff. I was I'm not going to sit here and argue back and forth with someone who clearly is playing dumb. You know what I mean? And also, the idea, what do you want me to send a fucking page of, let me tell you, no, you know what I mean, dumbass. This is just stupid and insulting to anyone's intelligence whatsoever. But anyways, here's the recipe for Ralph. It says, so 4.5 teaspoons brown sugar, 4.5 teaspoons smoky Montreal steak seasoning, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of water, 1 pound of sirloin or flank steak, and cut it about a 1/4 inch thick. I'm sure you can try other meat. I'm going to try other meats too. Marinate overnight in the fridge, and then air fry for 180 degrees for 2.5 hours, flipping over halfway. I will say if it's got more fat on it, probably add an extra half hour. That's what I've seen, because the really fattier pieces, it's which I did try a little bit of a fattier piece. It's very chewy still at the end, which I like. I really like the fatty pieces. So, but just letting you guys know. And all right, let's get back into let's pick at some of these things. I kind of dropped some knowledge through here, so I was gonna kind of back up my case, because I just find it unbelievable this guy doesn't know this, and if he doesn't, what the fuck, you should. This is ridiculous. This is I'm Thiel. The whole Thiel JD thing's not even really my forte whatsoever. This is just paying the slightest bit of fucking attention, which. And by the way, I'm going to go through it. I know that Dave Smith recently went on, I think it was Dave Benner's podcast, and was talking. Somebody asked him about this, and his question about Thiel left a lot to be desired for there. But I kind of was whatever. Dave's not the parapolitical guy. Funny enough, his parapolitical guy is probably actually Darryl. So, I mean, I don't know how the degree to which these guys talk, but if anything, he's probably the one slipping this information in his ear. So I don't know. I mean, Dave, that's not his forte. So I can kind of give him a write-off as like, whatever. He hasn't looked enough into this stuff. And he even admitted, I think he caveated when he went into it. Like, I don't really know enough, but he supported Ron Paul. Okay, who gives a fuck? Cool. Isn't that great? I guess I'll just fucking side over everything to him. But anyways, not trying to be too ridiculous about that, but that was frankly kind of pathetic, but whatever. I can give that one a pass because it's not your shtick, whatever. Maybe you're missing a ton of things. You're not really paying attention, but whatever. But let's keep moving. Did you guys know that J.D. Vance actually attributes his Catholic conversion to Thiel? So just here you go. It says, J.D. Vance used to think the world would end in 2007. Enchanted by his father's conservative Protestant church in Ohio, the teenage Vance took to reading millennialist prophecy, threw away his Black Sabbath CDs, and logged on to chat rooms to debate evolution with scientists. Vance tells the story of how his beliefs have changed by reference to other people. After serving for 4 years in the U.S. Marine Corps, which, by the way, he was a fucking journalist before anyone gets these ideas of, heard their fucking military in my hand. He's a fucking desk faggot propagandist. That's what he was. So get over that, which I do think was enlisted, so he gives a little more credit. He wasn't brass, if I recall correctly. I might be wrong. And in 2007, with the world not ended, he went to Ohio State University. He read the new atheist thinkers Christopher Hitchens and Sam Harris and declared himself one of their number. He rejected his faith. He explained in a 2020 essay in Catholic Journal, The Lamp, to fit in with the social elite he was now surrounded by. Oh, wow. It seems like he's so apt to fall in with a social elite. I began to think and then eventually to say things like, the Christian cosmos is more like North Korea than America, and I know where I'd like to live. And then here we go. Peter Thiel changed Vance's mind. At Yale Law School in 2011, Vance went to a talk by the right-wing venture capitalist billionaire who was possibly the smartest person I'd ever met, and yet a Christian. Inspired by Thiel, Vance read St. Augustine and the French Christian philosopher René Girard questioned his beliefs once again in 2019, was baptized as a Catholic. Weird. So he directly attributes that to him. Here's more. Here's me saying, Martyr Maid, how did that CIA dick taste? Here's what I mean. By the way, for those who aren't aware, Palantir basically is CIA. I mean, like I think Clint did a good episode on this. For those who want to go look into it, I think we might have a tab today that he goes one of these different tabs that I have up. Maybe I think is one of them. And we might go into that a little bit, but I mean, you can just go ahead and assume they are CIA. They were created by the CIA. They're fucking, right here from 2005 to 2008, the CIA was Palantir's patron and only customer. They're also, even then, once they weren't their only customer, it was like they were the one hooking them up with all the different, they were literally their contact guy. So it's fucking CIA, dude. And then here we go. Then here's Martyr Maid, which I guess he's mentioned this before. So to his credit, he's not lying about this. But he's responding to someone this is one of his responses saying, why? Thiel is a fan of my podcast. And then I went to a dinner he put on last year. Who cares? You guys want some completely organic candidates with no elite ties, but that is not a thing. Oop, fell for it again. And then here's J.D. Vance with his hand on a wall. Not the correct wall, if you ask me. But anyways, the old wailing wall. And here's a fun little email, which I don't know to what degree we're going to really go too much in the Epstein-Jeffrey connections, at least in the emails. But there was, for those who paid attention to Drop Site's reporting of the emails and all the different email leaks, there was a lot of Thiel connections. And I'm pretty sure, I don't remember the specifics, I think they basically confirmed, or at least that they were saying they were going to the island. But here is from Jeffrey Epstein in 2014. That's saying to Peter Thiel, saying that was fun. See you in 3 weeks. So you can go check out Drop Site's other reporting to see some of the other emails between Peter Thiel and Jeffrey Epstein, and then also Peter Thiel or Jeffrey Epstein hooking Peter Thiel up with Ehud Barak and trying to get them into the mix. The former Israeli prime minister. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. So yeah, that's you guys should ask him how that CIA dictates. Try to see if there's anything else of in this one before we move on to tab, because I did try to drop further context for people reading along. So I mean, Because I get it, normal person, if this was anybody other than like a Darryl Cooper or somebody like that, I would be like, whatever, maybe they just don't know something. But like the gall of you to fucking play dumb on this post of Jeffrey Epstein, when let's be real, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should know what I'm talking about. And I struggle to believe you don't. So, and funny thing is, a lot of people I think I saw pointed this out in replies, and even because he kind of made a whole thing on multiple other posts. Clearly, I got under his skin. He even put in quotes in one of those tweets, "the Thiel creation," then spun it over to like a Fuentes thing, somehow making it about Fuentes as opposed to me. Meanwhile, I've watched like maybe 2 streams of Fuentes's. I'm not some Fuentes acolyte. I definitely have lots of disagreements with him. I find him entertaining the few times I do check him out, but we definitely don't have the same politics. So this isn't like some fucking Fuentes thing or whatever. But either way, the gall, the fucking gall, dude, you're palling around with Thiel, and it's funny. It's funny. I don't know if this is a common talking point of Darryl, but I know Sagar does as well, Sagar and Jetty, but he's not getting that smoke right now because he hasn't done anything. But now Darryl, I'm pretty sure I've almost heard him say this thing before, like the old all these elites that hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, like, oh, you don't think they did like a little background check before you let people in your inner circle like this, or even interacting, yada yada yada. Well, let's apply that same exact fucking concept to you. You fucking hanging out with Peter Thiel, fucking fucking tongue bathing his fucking obvious fucking butt boy JD Vance, as if he's gonna fucking somehow do any fucking thing other than disappoint everyone. Given the context now, and especially, which we'll get into some other connections, it's like, dude, come on. Yes, I get it. A lot of this is kind of somewhat pattern recognition, but a lot of it is not. A lot of it's legit. Like, dude, look at this shit. Like, yeah, I don't know what Peter Thiel will be doing behind the scenes, but like, he's mixed up in this shit, dude. So I don't know what to say. So and then just playing dumb, and then you're gonna be the one with a talking point of like, oh, these elites should have looked into this guy. You'd think they would. Well, you'd think the fucking parapolitics Epstein guy would have looked into this, would have looked into the Thiel connections and parallels, how they got their start, the odd degree of, to which J.D. Vance is entirely a creation of Thiel. Like, he literally worked for him right out of college. So, but whatever. And then from there, I think he gave him the biggest fucking, the biggest amount that was ever, I believe, given in a fucking Senate race or some shit. So yeah, get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. So, and here's one of you guys. It says, I think the revelation about Darryl is important to inform the public consciousness during these dialectical psyops. And yeah, he's not wrong. Claims to be anti-Zionist, but no problem with the military-industrial infrastructure behind the genocide itself. Here is, it's funny. This is actually the tweet that I was referring to with him, getting upset later, like a post he made later, clearly referring to, you put declaring clearly and openly against Shapiro's attempt to cancel critics of Israel, the worst people on earth, will do anything to keep him out of the presidency, and many right-wingers want to join them because of some vague idea, that Vance is a creation of Thiel, whatever that means. So dumb. Whatever that means, like, this is literally the same exact argument people gave you when they were trying to fucking gaslight you about fucking the Miriam Adelson connection, which is one of the major reasons why I was like, I don't think it makes sense getting on this Trump train from the fucking jump. And I said it over and over again, like, that's not going to work out so well. Look, like, we don't really. Okay, well, how'd that fucking work out? Did you fall for it again? Did you fall for it again? You fell for it again, didn't you? You fell for it again. And then here's from Bloomberg. Thiel's Palantir, Israel agrees strategic partnership for BattleTech. The producers of things like Lavender and Daddy's Home. These beautiful, innovations of war. Just utter evil. So, speaking of which, here's from WikiLeaks. Says, have U.S. leaders dangerously lost the plot? Arnard Bertrand of Palantir's CEO Alex Karp, whose video was recently reposted by Elon Musk. Palantir is an intelligence contractor controlled by Peter Thiel, Karp, and Stephen Cohen, founded with CIA seed capital. Perfect illustration that U.S. tech leaders have dangerously lost the plot. Not only does Karp not seem to understand the first thing about geopolitics, It didn't bring up the right one. That's weird. All right, there you go. Fuck, give me a second. StreamYard's being glitchy. You seeing the right thing now? You guys are seeing the right thing now. Cool, there we go. Perfect illustration that U.S. tech leaders have dangerously lost a plot. Not only does Karp not seem to understand the first thing about geopolitics, he doesn't even understand what made the U.S. successful. He claims that the only way for the U.S. to be safe is for their adversaries to wake up scared and go to bed scared. Now let's watch this video because I think pictures and videos kind of say 1,000 words. So let's check in on Alex, who Peter Thiel appointed as his Palantir point man. So let's check in on him, see how deranged he comes across.
Americans are the most loving, God-fearing, fair, least discriminatory people on the planet, and they want to know that if you're waking up and thinking about harming American citizens, or if American citizens are taken hostage and kept in dungeons, or if you're a foreign power sending fentanyl to poison our people, something really bad is going to happen to you and your friends and your cousins and your bank account and your mistress and whoever was involved. And when Americans are spending $1 trillion on defense, what I want and what I think my peers want is, why are these people keeping our citizens hostage, torturing our people, attacking our allies, maligning us in what was once called the United Nations, basically a discriminatory institution against anything good? We need to stand up, and those people need to be scared. And that's why this conference is so important, because we have the best products in the world, and we cannot have parity. Our adversaries do not have our moral compunction. If it's even, they will take advantage of our niceness, kindness, our desire to be at home in Nebraska or New Hampshire or wherever we live in our peaceful environments. And they need to wake up scared and go to bed scared. And if you give that to the American people will go back and say, and honestly, probably shouldn't say this is why I thought the Democrats were going to lose the election, why they did, because people want to live in peace. They want to go home. They do not want to hear your woke pagan ideology. They want to know they're safe. And safe means that the other person is scared. That's how you make someone safe. And the average American person understands this. Unfortunately, many of the intellectually captured institutions, funneled and intellectually owned by the Berkeley faculty, do not. And that's what they want. It's sure as hell what I want. And that's what Palantir and all the people in this room, I hope, we're here to serve the American people. And my version of service is the soldiers are happier, the enemies are scared, and Americans go back to enjoying the fact that we're the only one with a real tech scene in this country, and we're going to win everything.
Keep in mind, Peter Thiel was literally caught on camera, which might have been one of those edits where he was asked, kind of about his thought about I think it was the lavender one, the AI that was being used for facial recognition being used in Israel to murder people, and then he does this weird staring. I got to defer to Israel on that one, as if that helps at all. But this is who's going to usher in the next guy running things. Here's more. Here's another link. Here's a link to a 2015 article where Gawker published Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book before Peter Thiel and Hulk Hogan made them go bankrupt. For those who are unaware, it is literally Peter Thiel's fault that Gawker went bankrupt, which, whatever. I mean, they're kind of like we're a slop vendor type bullshit thing for the most part. But this is actually, this was, I'm having a brain fart here. I've had him on the show. Nick Bryan. This is Nick Bryan's, one of his breakout pieces where he published the Little Black Book, and funny enough, that's coincidentally not much longer Peter Thiel shut it down, quite literally. I don't remember the specifics on it. I think it was the Hulk Hogan, like his dick pic or something crazy. I don't even remember what that one was, but and somehow, I don't know if Peter Thiel assisted that, but obviously it looks like it wasn't probably so much about the Hulk thing, if I had to guess, but maybe it was. But a little fun fact here too, 2015, when that happened, also happened to be when Epstein was putting money into Thiel's Valor Ventures. What am I talking about here? 25 and 2016, which, by the way, this is from the New York Times, before anyone goes, go get your alpha brain, whatever the fuck. Like, okay, no, you can find this shit in fucking legit sources all over the place. Pretty much damn near everything I'm going to talk about today. So in 2015 and 2016, Mr. Epstein put $40 million into two funds managed by Valor Ventures, a New York firm that was co-founded by Mr. Thiel. Today, that investment is worth nearly $170 million. What that means is that Peter Thiel has 4x'd Epstein's investment. And you know what? You know how it works when somebody's super duper rich? That money doesn't go away. So this was according to a confidential financial analysis of the late Mr. Epstein's estate, reviewed by the New York Times, and a statement provided by Valor spokesman. The investment in Valor, which specializes in providing startup capital and financial services tech companies, is the largest asset still held by Mr. Epstein's estate, some 6 years after he died by suicide in federal custody while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. Now, what I mean with estate, they're literally still making money off this. Like when you group your stuff in a estate, this is what rich people do. Like it's not just like, oh, you're dead, you're okay, the end. Like, no, there's an estate. Like that money goes on to somewhere. Like, I mean, I guess it does otherwise too, but it's a little bit different when you have it set up as an estate. So that money, that investment still applies, and there are people still making, the Epstein network that probably still exists and has just changed in some shape or form. Is literally still making money off of this. Millions, in fact. So yeah, that's why. So literally, Thiel's success equals the success of the Epstein ring, and the success of J.D. Vance almost certainly equals success of Thiel. So just saying, we got the Valor Ventures. That's great. So $40 million put in Valor Ventures, which I've pointed out when we covered this way back in the day. A little creepy. This guy has a weird thing for Lord of the Rings things. It's interesting. The Valar are literally like the gods on Earth in the Lord of the Rings. Like you have Eru Iluvatar, who is like the prime god above all. And then you have these like gods on Earth, the Valar, and then they have the Maiar. They're below them, which are like demigods. And funny enough, Sauron's actually a Maiar. So is Gandalf, Radagast, who is it? Why am I forgetting the other one? Saruman, and then the two blue wizards. Was it Rome? And I forget the other one. Anyways, I was a fucking nerd. But picking up symbolism is a little bit creepy there, because it's like, oh, great, Epstein, whatever the fuck that is, Valor Ventures. The name itself is creepy enough. Keep in mind, this motherfucker runs Palantir, which those were seeing stones used by the wizards and actually many other people. I think they were like an ancient elven artifact. I think they were meant to like be like some sort of a simile of the Silmarillions, if I recall correctly. Anyways, but yeah, the symbolism of the Palantir itself is creepy too, because it's literally a seeing stone that I believe is corrupted by the evil influence of Morgoth. So it was like actually a pure good tool at one point in time. But it is a corrupting tool that allows you to do all sorts of things, much like the ring itself, but with a little bit different. It's a very applicable name for this endeavor of his. Moving on, let's hear from Nicholas Fuentes. Nicholas J. Fuentes, of course, Remark glitched out. Let's see what he's got to say about all this, about it being a CIA creation. Because gotta say, I think I agree with the guy. So let's listen to him.
Here was created by the CIA. It is a private tech company. They were founded in 2001, shortly after 9/11. And for 7 years, the CIA was their only customer. Okay? Palantir was created after 9/11. It's a data analytics firm. Their purpose is to take all the data the federal government collects, in particular the intelligence agencies. It's to take all those satellite images, recorded phone calls, intercepted emails and letters and texts, all the information they have on anybody they've ever looked into. Palantir's job is to take that information and make it usable, searchable. It's even mentioned in movies. If you watch the movie Den of Thieves, which I saw recently, they said, do a Palantir check on this guy, on this criminal. It's primarily a law enforcement intelligence community tool for looking at targets of the national security apparatus. It was created in 2001. According to the research of Whitney Webb, this is a privatization of an existing CIA program called Total Information Awareness. The CIA wants to spy on everybody, wants to harvest and use all of their data, but the CIA is constrained by the Constitution. American citizens are protected from warrantless searches of their data. It's a violation of our Fourth Amendment privacy rights. if the government tries to do that. So what does the government do? They bypass the Constitution, which constrains government, and they contract with a private entity that they control. A private organization is not constrained by the Constitution. A private entity does not have enumerated rights. It's not constrained by the Bill of Rights and what it can do to people. So the CIA privatizes its unconstitutional mass surveillance by creating Palantir. Now, when I say that the CIA created Palantir, let me be precise and specific. The CIA has a venture capital arm called In-Q-Tel. What that means is they provide the startup money for private businesses that the CIA wants to use. It's like a defense contractor, like how Lockheed Martin's a private company, but only makes helicopters and military planes for the government and other defense assets. So the CIA's venture capital arm, In-Q-Tel, provided the money for Palantir. The CIA was Palantir's original investor. Palantir was meeting at CIA headquarters every month for years to build what Palantir is. They spent all their time in Virginia working at CIA headquarters to build this thing. And for the first 7 years, the CIA was Palantir's only customer. From 2001 until 2008, Palantir had one client. It was the CIA. So when I say Palantir was created by the CIA, that's not a figure of speech. That's not a manner of speaking. When I say the CIA created Palantir, I mean the CIA's venture capital fund, In-Q-Tel, seeded money to Palantir. The CIA consulted to create Palantir products. Palantir products were tailor-made for the CIA because from 2001 until 2008, the CIA was Palantir's only client. So the CIA and Palantir are like this. There's questions about who controls who. During a Reddit AMA, Peter Thiel, who co-founded Palantir, was asked, is Palantir a front for the CIA? Thiel responded and said the CIA is a front for Palantir. Where does one start? Where does one end and the other begin? It's hard to say.
Sorry, I thought there was more in that video I was chewing. But yeah, I think he nailed it. He pretty much nailed it. It is literally basically CIA. And if you're saying it's not CIA, it's because it probably transcends the CIA. All right, give me a second. Let me bring up the next one. StreamYard's be glitching. I got more. I'm going to cut out the Candace bit. Maybe we'll cover that tomorrow if it's still relevant whatsoever, because I don't know. For one, I don't really, we're almost at 2 hours. I got shit I got to do. I went way too long with this segment, but anyways, we'll scrap the Candace segment and we'll probably maybe cover it tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, though. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do it. I might, though. I don't really have anything else to do, and I might have other shit going on. So maybe we might have a morning dump tomorrow around 11 a.m. Maybe even Christmas. I mean, I know it sounds not great. I'll still do Christmas stuff with my family and stuff. It'll just be way earlier, and then so I mean, I think we're all going to be doing stuff in this. I mean, kids are teenagers, so they're going to be fucking with the shit we got them and stuff. So it's fine. I can do a podcast, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it'll be better or worse to do on Christmas, but I might do that. All right, let's get back into this segment. But yeah, I'm cutting the Candace one for today. But here we go. Do I have it up right now? I do. Okay, there we go. I did want to point out, here was just a quick tweet I found that kind of gave a quick rundown of Vance's background, kind of how he ended up where he was, and who was responsible for that. So this is a Capitol Hunters, which I don't know, whatever, decent count, I guess. I don't follow him or anything. So Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio is a wholly owned subsidiary of Pure Thiel. Thiel met law student Vance in 2011, which we covered that a little bit, then became his patron, installed him at Mithril Capital in 2016, with Mithril as well as more fucking nerdy Star Wars shit. That's literally the strongest armor there is or whatever. So he installed him at Mithril Capital at 2016, set him up with Narya Capital, which isn't Narya one of the knives or something? I think that's like, isn't that Aragorn's knife or the fabled knife of his Isildur or something? I forget. Whatever. But Narya is something as well. So Narya Capital in 2019, then gave him a slot at 2019 NatCon, and then spent $10 million running him for Senate. So, but yeah, so there you go. Let's be real. I mean, this dude is owned. Like, sure, you could be like, well, he could still maybe do things that Thiel doesn't want, and this is how politics work. Yeah, fucking exactly. So, like, maybe you should either demand something different or maybe stop wasting your fucking time. I mean, I don't it's literally such a scam. I don't really, I mean, yeah, I'm the no voting guy, but it's like, or at the very least, if you're going to vote, don't be a fucking idiot about it. I don't know. This is just so fucking stupid. Anyways, here's another one. Jeffrey Epstein appeared Thiel in 2014. So here's another email. So let's look through this, see what interesting thing we have in here. It says subject says 13th afternoon, you and I, then Bill Burns, the diplomat eyeing dinner with Woody, all casual. If we choose, we can bring in Kathy Rumler, former Obama counselor for 5 years, or Senator Bob Kerrey, which I think Rumler was the one that had odd connections we talked about previously. Former Senate intelligence. I gotta take a call real quick. Give me a sec. Sorry, that was my kiddo. I had to answer it. More important than you guys. I know, awful podcasting, but whatever. It was important. I had to pick up the call. All right, let's get back into this email real quick. Bring this sucker to the end. Here's the subject of the tweet of the email. It says, would be cool to meet him sometime, but I don't go out of my way to make this happen. Are we planning something on the weekend of the 13th through 14th? Then we got any interest in Woody Allen. So essentially the key to this back and forth. To be fair, this isn't damning or anything, but swimming these waters. Here's Jason Bassler. We'll finish it off with this. It says, in recent hacked Epstein emails from 2014, one thing is clear. Epstein was desperate to position Pierre Thiel as a power broker in Israel, arranging meetings with ex-Prime Minister Barak and top officials. The real question, what incentive drove Epstein to engineer this influence? Because it wasn't just Thiel, though he was clearly the prize catch. Hacked emails read like an A-list Silicon Valley Rolodex, and these were 2000 to 2018 when these emails were found. Palantir's Alex Karp, Oracle's Larry Ellison, and Jeff Bezos. These are all people in these emails, all lobbied and recruited by Israeli officials for technocratic shadow agendas. The emails reveal a cozy triangle: billionaires, ex-heads of state, intel agencies, string pullers, quietly laying foundations for the technocratic state long before the surveillance tech boom. Silicon Valley and national security plus Israeli intel colluding behind closed doors. Says, I have a lot of questions. Says, why was Epstein so intent on brokering these links? Why make Thiel a kingmaker in Israel's ruling class? Private dinners, quiet introductions, a tech intel liaison happening in the shadows. If these men had nothing to hide, why all this secrecy? By the way, go look into the Edge dinner. I'm not sure if Thiel attended that one, but Elon did. So interesting enough. 10 more questions that seem relevant. It says in 2014, Palantir was small potatoes compared with Lockheed Martin and General Dynamics, whose market caps were 60 billion, 46 billion. Why recruit and connect Thiel specifically? What was driving Epstein's urgency in arranging repeated meetings and follow-ups? Why were the introductions happening quietly through Epstein rather than through official diplomatic or tech channels? Did Epstein view Thiel as a strategic asset? And if so, for whom? Was this about giving foreign officials early access to an American billionaire who might one day steer U.S. political and technological power? Was Epstein grooming Thiel as an asset he could deploy to multiple governments, not just Israel? Was Epstein attempting to turn Thiel into a conduit for transferring emergent surveillance capabilities into foreign hands? Was Thiel's increasing proximity to U.S. intelligence agencies part of why Epstein pushed him so hard to Israeli figures? Was Epstein trying to build the beginning foundation of a technocratic state where intelligence agencies and surveillance tech firms increasingly overlap? Was this courtship about power, leverage, or something darker? Says we need answers. The man Epstein was trying to crown in Israel isn't just a random tech bro. He's a central architect of the techno-surveillance state and the infrastructure being built for your social credit score. And I'm sorry, I keep hearing people like, oh, well, somebody's going to make it. Yeah, okay. How is that any different than being like, well, somebody's going to murder all those Palestinians? Like, yeah, but you don't have to support it. Like, well, they're going to take away all of our fucking, all of our privacy. Like, oh, I mean, they're going to destroy the Constitution, but somebody's going to do it. It may as well be Palantir because Thiel voted for Ron Paul or something. Like, who fucking cares? By the way, here's if you do want to go over at Jason Bassler's, I'll retweet this so you guys can find it. But here's a piece that goes into that, provides the records. And he's asking he wonders how much of this threat will be shadow banned, which, funny enough, I had to deal with a little bit in my back and forth with Darryl back there, which, to be fair, I was saying no words. So who knows? Maybe it's too schizo of a jump to go from one to the other. But here is one piece that he pulled out, a little excerpt. It says, 2, surveillance/politics niche is getting quietly throttled. Your bread and butter, Palantir rants, flock takedowns, digital ID warnings resonates huge when it lands. I.e. your November 22nd tokenization post, 3.7K views. November 21st, flock ethics callout, 2.7. But these keywords, surveillance, Palantir. Oh, I'm seeing what this is now. I'm assuming that he pulled this from like Grok or something, or kind of figure out about his current thing, asking him like if he's being throttled. And so I'm assuming this is probably their answer. And so he's, this is referring to his other posts and, the kind of views they had, and, kind of diminishing views. It says, but these keywords, surveillance, Palantir, digital ID, trigger topic-based deboosting for non-verified accounts, especially post-election. Thankfully, I'm verified. September's similar posts got a freer ride before the November algo tweak prioritized positive election content. Your anti-Trump/anti-establishment angles compound this. X is pushing pro-MAGA vibes harder now. It says evidence neutral tests like your podcast promo or Liberty Movement video outperform pure critique posts by 2x. Now, obviously, this is like, a bit of a jump. I'm assuming he pulled this from like Grok or something or some other AI. But either way, it's totally believable that this would be how it worked. For anyone who's paying attention with the new X overhaul, they were talking about these sort of deboosting things. That if you have large accounts, like say example like a Darryl Cooper with 400,000, when they block you or they fucking mute you or whatever, that deboosts you. So he did deboost me. I also was saying things about Palantir and JD, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised of all these keywords. And I'm definitely very anti-Trump. So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if I'm being deboosted. But it's kind of hey, this is how this all works. Isn't it beautiful? All right, guys, let's roll the chat one more time, see if there's anything interesting, and then we'll get out of here. I need to get out of here. We spent way too long on the second segment, but let's see if there's anything interesting in the chat, and then we'll get out of here. Let me see if there's anything instant here. Here we go. Clockwise, as all major tech companies are basically CIA. Yeah. Bug Fight says, I really have a hard time fingering DC as some type of operative or something, but I really can't rationalize this behavior. I gotta say, I've been saying for a while how much Tucker glows. And then you keep in mind with this weird fucking shit from the other day with his source of a congressman, which I don't know, maybe he just got a faulty source, but his dad was literally the voice of America. So I don't know what to tell you. Everyone tries to downplay his glowiness. Sure, I guess he kind of acts all right on the front stage. It is what it is. And then who introduced Darryl Cooper to the stage? Is some big fucking bigwig? Oh, he's the premier historian or whatever the fuck. Well, that was Tucker Carlson. Now wasn't it? No, wasn't it? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too schizo with that, but I don't know. I'm picking up patterns. So whatever. Yeah, it's hard to rationalize this. I find it hard to rationalize all of this. So yeah, let me see. Here's John Black. So it would be nice to see Benner on TMD as solid takes. May not have nailed Dave down the Thiel thing, but he's a Dave fanboy. Yeah, I think he asked him though, so that was good of him. So he asked him. I'm sure he probably wasn't satisfied with it either, but whatever. I'd be down to have him. I think I invited him. I don't know. I never heard back from him though. So here you go. Weird how so many of the PayPal mafia work for government contracts now. Hey, yeah, exactly. These are all government contractors too. That's why there's all this. Like, this is so simple. This is literally government. So Nevsky says the U.S. did force Israel to use Palantir instead of Israel's version that was bombing way more innocent kids. Okay. Well, I guess if someone's gonna murder, Palestinians, then I guess it may as well be us, right? At least we'll be nicer about it, I guess. There you go. DC did work for a defense contractor working in radar and defense systems, and also his co-host is a fucking Green Beret. So, I mean, I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but just saying. Obviously, that's just patterns, dots out there. You can connect them if you want, but whatever. So maybe Thiel and DC likely crossed paths that way. I don't know. Well, he said he was a fan of his podcast, which he probably was. I don't doubt that he hit him up and was like, "Oh, I love your podcast," and fucking glazed him. I'm sure. Let me see. Sure, blame it on Hogan banging Bubba's wife. Yeah, it was a Hogan banging Bubba's wife. Yeah. All seeing eye says is what Palantir means, says clockwise. North side saying easy on the Middle Earth nerd stuff. CIA also created the internet. Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. And they probably did, but it's not like a literal entity. Like if internet was doing things, internet was the one running. If internet is who appointed Peter Thiel, or not Peter Thiel, JD Vance, that'd be a different story. I think Palantir was born from Promise, perhaps. I wouldn't be least surprised. So, InQtel was born with Systematics, which is what stole Promise. Interesting. Let me see. If there's anything else in the chat. Jose has received the call. Oh yeah, guys. Israel has a right to defend itself. Good morning, Dr. Eek. So we all know who's in the files by their actions. Crazy story. My kid just explained how Israel did nothing wrong. Yeah. Good morning, Hubert. Good morning. Let me see if there's anything else in here. You have to admire Thiel and ISIS. What if you just woke up today and decided to toss your problems off a high rise? Oh yeah. I didn't really go into it because I just thought it'd be a little bit too salacious and a little too conspiratorial. But yes, he did have a report who was reported his boo. There was a whole bunch of reports of them having a big argument, something like a week prior, and then he ends up dead, falling off of his the balcony of it was either a 2 or 3 story building that was a fuckload. We covered this show forever ago that Thiel was paying for, and it was previously owned by one of the Bronfmans who was in the Nixium cult. So that's interesting too. I mean, that may mean nothing, but either way, his little boo thing got fell off of a fucking balcony, all Wormwood style, for people who get that reference. So, all right, here we go. Tucker tells us what I want to hear, but what does that accomplish, though? Is Tucker Q-tard bait? I don't know. I mean, this is why you got to be careful of dialectical shit, dude. They play off of each other. And you also got to think perhaps there's an angle you're missing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is CIA trying to cover for Israel's involvement. I don't fucking know. I have no idea what the game is, but you look at it and you go, I see these people. I see their act is where I say, keep your eye on the ball, pay attention to what's going on, all this actor stuff. I will say, sure, maybe Darryl's just a fucking idiot, but it's his argument is kind of well, what better is there? And we got to have somebody and yada, yada, yada. It's literally brain dead fucking, I don't know, fucking generic, left bad, so we need a righty now. And he says nice things. Did you hear? He said, you can be white now. Oh my God. Oh no. Wow. Holy shit, I can be white and I don't have to be ashamed. Oh my God, I can be white now. Who gives a fuck? He's just saying gay fucking culture war shit. And it's all just lame shit. And I don't know, it's just lame. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. For those who want to support my show, hit that hit that share, subscribe, comment, all those things. You can do a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. That helps out the show a lot. You hit that like button. That's one of the best things you do. Now, if you want to support the show the best way you can do that with money over at patreon.com/nowayjose2020. The lowest level is $2. That gets you access to a whole host of episodes. I usually do about 1 to 2 episodes behind the paywall per week. This week's been a little rough, with all the holidays and stuff. And me and Hassan have had to reschedule multiple times trying to do an episode. But we'll make it happen. But we usually do 1 to 2 per week, and I keep try to keep up 4 behind the paywall at any given time. And I think we still do right now, so there's still plenty back there for you. I also give you access to ad-free RSS feed, give you access to Telegram, and give you access to the pre-show, post-show, and the video calls. I mean, in Austin's weekly live call-in show, Already Dead, which is on tonight, Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Look forward to seeing you guys there. And the highest level is my sponsors, and give them a big shout out every episode. Is a big thank you for everything they do. I have my previous co-hosts Entire Gang, at Learn to Toad, also at Abrogate Deeds, at ZOVRCK, at _Vizil, Tim Tell, at Jolly Klebo, Big Fan of the Show Torme, at Wayne Tacklers, One of Your Carver Kids, No Free Lunch, Jack, Mark Vestibule, and Jacob Winograd of the Biblical Anarchy Podcast. And with that, guys, we're going to get out of here. Love you all. I think I should be here tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know, hit or miss. I mean, whatever. Enjoy your time with your family. Merry Christmas, all that. I hope we catch these pedophiles, but I'm not too hopeful. We'll see. I don't know. Are we getting our white marches or whatever the hell it is they did in Belgium? I don't know. We'll see. But man, it is just the utter disrespect. We'll see how this plays out. I really feel like we probably won't see any sort of action or anything along those lines until probably slightly after the holidays. But this is such a brazen act. I don't know. But I'll see you guys later. Enjoy this outro. This utterly bangs. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Peter Thiel co-founded PayPal back in 1998. The team around him went on to create groundbreaking startups. You've heard of them all, like YouTube, Yelp, Kiva, LinkedIn, and Tesla.
Back home smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles. Foreign shit running on diesel, dog. Playing with my name, that shit is lethal, dog. Who you see? What? Don Corleone. Trust me, at the top it isn't lonely. Everybody acting like they know me, dog. Don't just say it now, you gotta show me what you gotta do. Bring the clip back empty. You asked to see the ball, so they sent me, dog. I just broke her off with a 10-piece, dog. There ain't nothing, I'm just being friendly, dog. It's just a little 10-piece for it, just to blow it in the mall. Doesn't mean that we involved. I just put a Richard on the card. I ain't going
I believe you can be both a libertarian and work with the government, or even work for the government, or work in the government.
Niggas need you to go away. Still going bad on them anyway. Saw you last night, but did it all day. Yeah, a lot of murk coming in a hard way. But got a sticky and I keep it at my dog's place. Girl, I left you loving magic, not all shade. Still going bad on you anyway. Whoa. I can feel like 80 rats in my Marys. Me and Drizzy back to back is getting scary. If you fucking with my eyes, just don't come near me. Put some bins all on your head like Justin Terry. Whoa. Richard Millie cuss a Lambo. Known to keep the baddest bitches on commando. Every time I'm in my trap, I move like Rambo. Ain't a neighborhood in Philly that I can't go. For real.